Good evening. I'm Cecilia Capers for Urban CUSP magazine. I'm a freelance writer here in New York City. We're in Harlem, USA, tonight at a rehearsal space to showcase and give an opportunity for the cast of Tragedy of Tupac, Amaru Shakur, or Who Shot Me. It's a new independent production being put on by a talented group of young people here in the city, and I want you to get an opportunity to get to know who's in the cast, actually their parts, and also get a flavor for what brought them here and why this is a significant production that everybody should see. We know that Tupac in life was a controversial figure, and even in death he's still a controversial figure that will probably live on in our collective memories for decades to come. So let the cast introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Damian Bailey. I play Tupac Shakur.
I'm Anthony Williams, and I play Little Tupac.
I'm Nolani Rashby, and I play Shorty.
My name is Gustavo Cabeza, and I play Man in Judge.
My name is Melinda Grace, and I play Tabitha Soren.
Hi, my name is Joshua Rivera, and I play the artist statement and the record executive.
My name is Fahim Hamid, and I play the store owner.
Hi there, my name is Betal Navarro, and I play the role of Layla Stenberg.
I'm Joseph Cardozo, and I play Johnny J. and the Young Lord.
I'm Z. Joseph Geis, and I play Tupac's manager.
I'm Dan Burkhart. I play Judah Moisha, Senator Bob Kansas, and Judge J.D. Roberts.
I'm Channing Jackson. I play Louis Farrakhan, and also William, and also other roles as part of the ensemble.
Nicholas Marlon Newton, play Shermake and Mike Tyson. Hector L. Hicks, I play Huey P. Newton and Tupac's defense attorney.
I'm Jessica Jennings, I'm the director of this production. I'm Sinead Hernandez, I'm the stage manager and assistant director.
What makes this production even more exciting, besides the subject matter, is to see that this is a multicultural cast. At times here in New York, you can have casts that either go from one extreme to the other in terms of culture. But what I like about this group here is that you have a variety of ages, you have a variety of experiences, you have a variety of different flavors that are all coming together. And I'm going to shoot a few questions, and just feel free, whoever feels the most confident and comfortable to answer the questions, to just chime in. What makes this play, as opposed to some other productions, other movies, documentaries that have done about Tupac Shakur's life, what makes this significant for this time, this place, as we just celebrated the 15th anniversary of his death?
I'm sorry. No. What makes it special? Well, it's about time, and it's a different view and a different take on this man's life from the beginning to the very end. And it's something that hasn't been done before, and it's good that we're doing it now.
And what do you think, cast in general, is the most gritty part of expressing the angst, the turmoil, but also the triumph in Tupac's life?
Anyone want to answer that?
I think it's how you come against politicians and just the world. Like, he's just an artist, but he's more. And you get to see that in this play. And a lot of times I think we didn't see that 10, 12 years ago. We saw him as just Tupac, just someone who is a thug or a gangster, but there's more to it than that. Like, he was against bigger forces, I think. And I hope, you're able to see that.
And for the ladies, this question will go to them. What is most significant to you about playing a role in a production where at times a lot of people had problems with Mr. Shakur's lyrics because of the misogyny, some of the demeaning things he said about women? What makes this still an elevating piece to you?
I think it's so great because in this play in particular, you can hear a lot of the lyrics where Tupac praises women, and you see the love that he has for his mother, and the love that he has for Shorty and Layla, and even the playfulness that he has with Tabitha. Like, he doesn't show a woman disrespect at all in this play, and I think it shows that, you know, he cares about people, and his lyrics range from whatever is going on at the time. So, you know, one minute he may feel like, you know, he can say something that's derogatory, but he doesn't hate women, he loves women, and you can see that when you watch this play.
And I think he was so misunderstood because today coming here, I always listen to his music, but sometimes the beats in music is so good that you forget the text and the words. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things that's this play elaborates on. But I was listening to a song that he made called Wonder Why They Call You Bitch. And I used to always kind of chuckle when I hear that. But today was the first day ever that I listened to those words. And he wasn't really degrading women. He was basically telling the truth why men call a certain particular female a bitch. And it was true. You gotta listen to the words. I'm not gonna rap it. But I was like, wow, this is... And not only that, it was a heavy story. Every song was a story.
So going on that, Rick, in terms of looking at Tupac as a storyteller, what do you think is the most significant story that he left us in his untimely death?
I think the biggest story that impacted my life was the love that he had for his mother. Because his mother, even though she was going through some troubled times, he never left her. He always stood by her side. He always showed her love and compassion. Because when he was growing up, he had a tough childhood. And the same love that his mother embraced in him, he was able to give it back to her. And to me, that song, Be a Mama and Keep Your Head Up. And like that song that they said, like, wonder why they call you the B word. He's actually not degrading women. He actually telling women, like, if you don't, you could be better. You could do something on your own. You could go get an education. You could get something. You don't have to wait for a man to give you things. You don't have to stay home and wait for a man to make you a woman. You are already a woman, and you got your own goals and your own future.
Now, in terms of, there's also sometimes in rap lyrics, and Tupac was a part of that, there's the subtext of his story where he had a lot of political and internal conflict. He had battles with Suge, he had battles with East Coast, West Coast. Everyone knows that. But what do you think, if Tupac was still alive today, what would he say about sometimes the gun violence or some of the other issues that are still plaguing the communities of color in particular that may have not changed too much from the time he was cutting records to what's going on right now?
Well, he definitely wouldn't have been on Occupy Wall Street. That's for sure. I think he definitely would have been out there. I think he would have definitely talked about the gun violence that continues to plague the black community. He would have talked about the poverty. Not much change. Not much change. I think he still would have elaborated on that.
Was Tupac an intellectual who was misunderstood?
Yes.
And that's an overwhelming yes. So going on that as well, we see this I would call it the rainbow cast. It's a beautiful mosaic. So
you got a Caucasian director.
I love it. I love it. Women directors, the unsung heroes in the artistic industry, especially in the film industry. But what I want you just to take a brief second and think of, why is this still an everyman story? Sure, the central character is a man who came out of the Black Panther Party. He came out or from a home where people were in the party, from his mother to his stepdad. He grew up with a certain level of what we would call in this country militancy. But why is he relatable to the Asian American, a Latino American, a white female American, a black female American? Why is he relatable to even a white man who would be a banker who the very people of Occupy Wall Street are questioning? Why is he still in the middle of an everyman story?
Because every person struggles, and we he had to go through both as an artist and as a person. Like it was his journey to becoming a man, an adult. And he had to go through some really hard shit.
And he believed in himself, and he knew where he wanted to be, and he persisted, and he saw that goal, and he just went. And
we're free flowing. This is free flowing thought. So, any further thought?
yeah, and I think that that translates to women, it translates to men, it translates to Asian Americans and Caucasians and across the board. To know, to be a dreamer and to battle adversity and know what you want and be able to go for it and get it.
I think he was just one of the first rappers that really poured his life, his emotions into his words. You see that now with a lot of rappers now, kind of like Eminem does it very well. But when you listen to Tupac, you listen to a song like Changes, or you listen to Dear Mom, or you listen to something like Dog Mansion, he talks about his suffering a lot. And I think people are really, most people think rap is about, how rich you are and how much you got your car and women. But, he really got to people. When you hear his lyrics, he's talking about his story, his life, and stuff. That people from all races, all ethnicities, all over the world connect to that. I mean, there's a statue of him in Germany.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so and people over there in those tougher communities over there, and it says I may not change the world, but I will spark the brain that will change the world. And I think that's his message.
I'm gonna just shoot about 2 or 3 more questions. I know. I thank once again the director, stage manager, as well as the playwrights who are not here right now for this opportunity. But what we wanted to make sure we got a picture of is to let people just for a brief moment see them. I just want you to pan across that this is in this play is representative of America. It's representative of the way the world is now, whether you live uptown, downtown, whether you're in Montauk, Manhattan. We're all the same, and like you said, the key is we're all sharing in struggle. One of the questions I would like to ask, and I always love asking people this, in one word, describe your experience of being in this production. Just one word.
I say love.
Truth.
Pride.
Honor.
Oh, intimidating.
Inspiration. Drive.
Change.
Journey.
Passion. Brave.
Embrace.
Motivation.
Overcoming.
Definitely.
Humanity. Enlightenment.
Now, this is more directed towards the director and stage manager who everyone never sees them on stage, but they're the unsung heroes of every production. Why should a production like this be on the road? Or why should this be in a major theater or even in the glam of the off-Broadway echelon of production? Why would a play of this nature be relevant in that venue?
I'll speak to that in terms of why relevant now. And I think our culture, society is at a tipping point from all the groundwork that's been laid over the last 30 years or more. But everything that Tupac was speaking about, it's all coming to fruition now. What doesn't work in society, and where a lot of frustrations lay, and we're definitely at that tipping point now, and this place speaks to that, and it speaks to our humanity, and this is why it should be here now, and it deserves to be workshopped, it deserves to be worked out, and in the off-Broadway venue, in that community, there's freedom to explore that you don't get at the commercial level.
As Jessica said,
our society now is just so much more worse than I think it was before. I think our humanity is just, like she said, is at a tipping point, and I think Tupac spoke about these things so long ago, and it's amazing to me how it's happening now. His lyrics are speaking to what's going on now. Our cast is so diverse, and I think it's important to show theater, and people that don't even come to theater, you should come, because this is a momentous thing for us, especially people my age. This is a big deal, just to see so many diversity in a cast, and to hear such a controversial topic of politics, of words, of, like you said, maybe it's degrading women, maybe it's not. But this is something that needs to be seen by everybody, and it should be. It deserves it.
And I'm going to put a few people on the spot. Thank you for that. I'm going to put a few people on the spot. And just by a show of hands, we know it's 15 years since he died. I wanted to just see how many people that are in the cast now were under the age of 15 when Tupac died. I'm going to ask how old were you How old were you?
I believe I was fresh 6 years old.
Well, they died 95, right?
96.
All right. I was 4.
Wow. Who else is part of that? Okay.
7.
I was 8.
Anyone else who was?
13.
So this is significant because you're doing a play where the impact for everyone who was 15 and up when he died, they felt and they knew the vibe in the street, and they felt the music, and they understood what was going on in the time, and they could put it in a context. So to see that all of you were still at a very tender age, and now you're having to examine subject matter that some people could argue is a little before your time. I think that's what's the significance of art. That's the significance of theater, is that you can take a message and convey it across generations and bring people together who may not have been able to have that conversation but for being able to come together in a cast. And I see a lot of the cast members shaking their head. And for me personally, I was starting my first year of law school, and I heard he got shot. And for me, who had been a classroom teacher and had been with young people who adored him, who were junior high school students, I wasn't there at the time because I was in school. But I could see how they would have been devastated. So I think, for you, I commend you for being so brave of taking on a project like this. I commend the writers for putting this together, Christina and George. They're not here, but we celebrate what they've done, because but for the Playwrights, we wouldn't even have this moment. So I'm going to close off by just asking one person one question. I'm going to put one person on the spot. I'm going to put Damien on the spot. And because in history you have great men who've been before the camera and on stage. You have Lawrence Fishburne, who had the channel Thurgood Marshall. You've had Denzel, who had the channel Malcolm X. You've had great actors who had to channel a number of historical figures, whether talking about Kate Blanchett. They've been able to take people who are not here anymore and give them life and blood and flesh. What makes what you're doing, that if Tupac walked in the door, like he could right now, what would make him feel that you are doing the most honorable distinction for him by your role?
I'm telling the truth. No impersonation.
Let's say that one more time, because
Sure.
make sure.
No impersonation. I'm telling the truth.
And that's what theater is about. So it's about truth, and I'm telling the truth. I feel honored and I feel blessed and special to have a few minutes with these talented people. We wish them a lot of good luck and success in their future endeavors, and you need to come out to the Triad Theater, correct me if I'm wrong, on November 2nd and 3rd. 7 and 9, 2 shows. If you can go online too.
brownpapertickets.com.
brownpapertickets.com, and look for us on Facebook, look for us on Twitter. I will be tweeting, and this will be on YouTube, and it will be up on Urban Cusp, and I look forward to seeing all of you in a week. Thank you. Thank you.